Thrilled to be here today. I realized looking at my calendar that it was exactly 6 weeks ago today that I officially accepted the job. It was announced 2 days later, but I remember the moment very well because I think it was a moment of sheer joy, also probably sheer terror. Being a first-time head coach and doing it at the highest level of women's basketball is exciting, but also a little overwhelming. People ask, how do you know you're ready to be a head coach? And I don't know that there is a way to know other than you feel like you've done everything you can do to prepare yourself, and then the day you get the job, you just start working. And it's really just been about building relationships. I started with the players, really reaching out to them from the first minute. I think I talked to Lasia Clarendon about 15 minutes after it was announced on Twitter that I was named the head coach, and then followed it up with all the other players on the team. And it's kind of been the approach I've taken, is about this first 6 weeks being about building relationships. Was really lucky a week after I got the job to add Chris Yanko as the GM, because it really took a lot off my plate in terms of agent contacts and someone who understands all the contract stuff and kind of the day-to-day operations of being in this league. I think as a first-time head coach, I just want to be able to coach my team and really do a good job of being ready for the opening day of training camp to have all the pieces in place. So it's been a lot of fun, incredibly humbled by the experience. I want to thank Kelly Loeffler, Mary Brock, Teresa Wenzel, who believed in me and really believed that I was the right person for this job. So with that, I'm willing to take any and all questions.
Now, you said you had already spoken to some of, or not all the players, you've spoken to all of them, and you do have some experience with the All-Stars, with Lasia, with Liz, with Tiffany, and also you have experience with Angel as well. So how have those relationships kind of helped you get an introduction to the team?
Well, I think it was just easier to pick up the phone and call them that first time. Certainly, I've told people before that you don't do a lot of coaching in the All-Star game. You just try to keep them from getting injured, and they want to have a good time. But the beauty of that is with Lasia and Elizabeth both being first-time All-Stars, they were excited about that. Our Connecticut Sun players that were there were in a similar situation. And so they're both players who love to communicate, just easy to be around. So it was just an icebreaker, that we had met, that I'd been able to joke around and have a good time with them. Tiffany's a little quieter, just naturally. But was incredibly polite, and through this process and reaching out to her and Israel, or even when she was home a little bit when they had a break, just been a really positive experience with her as far as being excited for change and where things are going. So no doubt that past experience helps you move forward. Angel, I coached Angel when she was 19 and 20, and just kind of getting her start. She was Big East Player of the Year as a sophomore for us at the University of Louisville. So I saw her go from a player coming out of prep school and really having a hard time, like getting two shoes on every day for practice, to the Big East Player of the Year in 2 seasons. So I know the progress she's capable of making and how talented a player she is. Like I would put her in the top 10 players in the world right now as far as pure talent.
Speaking of morale, you would say morale is up and everyone is excited for a 2018 season. Or I guess, what is our expectation?
Ooh, no pressure. I think any coach is going to tell you that it's about the process. It's about building it one day at a time, starting in training camp and kind of building that culture that we're going to play hard, and the wins and losses will take care of themselves if we do things the right way. With that said, I don't think there's a player on our roster that doesn't believe this is a playoff roster. I think they thought they were a playoff team this year and didn't have the kind of season they expected. Certainly the talent's there. When you talk to other coaches in this league, other GMs in this league, there's no doubt, we have players that people respect and want and know are good. So it's about, meshing those pieces and getting the most out of them, both offensively and defensively, moving forward.
What are some things you saw in the past season that you think the team needs to work on? What are some things that they've already kind of improved upon? Also, reinserting Angel back into that lineup, how is that going to change anything?
Okay, part one. I think what needs to be different? I scouted Atlanta for the Connecticut Sun, and I don't think there's any doubt that this team knows that they're good in the open floor, what we would call primary break, quick passes ahead, really attacking and getting downhill against the defense, getting to the foul line, getting easy baskets. I think where this team faltered was when they would get in the half court, and they would have to play half court game and get to multiple actions, and they relied too much on athleticism and the ability of some of the players to make plays. I think we have to get better at sharing the basketball, at moving it to the next option. We obviously have a great offensive rebounding team with Elizabeth and Amani, that can clean it up for us, but I think we can get better shots. I truly believe that in the right system, and them being unselfish and willing to share the ball will make them all have, career years. And everyone's happy when you win. What was my third part of that?
How do you see reinserting Angel into the lineup
Yeah.
will change the team, if at all?
Well, I think it will be adjustment for everyone. I think it starts with her being on probably or arguably the best team in Russia. I think we're going to not have her in training camp, so it won't be an easy process. We'll be 2 weeks into putting a new system in with our team, and then trying to push her in there little by little and getting her the things that she needs. I don't think that you can say that not having her, helps us, because she's one of the best players in this league, and so I think it'll take some time. I think Brittany Sykes may not get 25 shots. I think we have to distribute the shots a little differently. But I don't think if you talk to Brittany Sykes wants to win, and so whatever that means for her, I think we just have that another weapon, in our lineup.
Do you see Angel at the 4?
I think Angel and Bria Holmes are both capable of being the 4. I think when you look at Minnesota in the playoffs this year, one of the reasons they won one of the playoff games was moving Maya Moore to the 4. It forced LA, they still wanted to stay with the matchup of Beard on her, so they had a clear mismatch at another position. So I think both of them are capable offensively. You got to get them to buy into the Draymond Green kind of philosophy, that all of a sudden you have another person to get you downhill quickly in transition. You've got someone that's going to be really hard to guard off the bounce, but then they've got to learn to battle. It's the defensive side. It's the really being physical. It's keeping the Brunsons off the boards, and no one in this league can guard Charles, but it's a little tougher when you're 6'1" trying to guard Tina Charles on the little block. So you've got to take the good and the bad. You got to say we've got to be better offensively, because we know this is going to be tough on us defensively. So there's no doubt that I'm going to be looking at that and really figuring out how to utilize all of them most effectively and get them playing time.
Okay, and this isn't really basketball related, but what's your transition to the Atlanta life been like?
The Atlanta life. I've been here for 4 days. In a snowstorm.
Yep.
My husband was actually in town last week looking at housing, and so our plan has been to move our family. I've got 12-year-old twins and a 10-year-old, so we currently live in Fort Myers. But I wouldn't say I've integrated in any way, shape, or form to the Atlanta lifestyle or culture in 4 days. But I think I've been getting a lot done in the name of the Atlanta dream, and eventually I'll get to where I'm here full time.